Let's talk about all the ways that you are getting manipulated without even knowing, because I need you to wake the F up. Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Hiba and let's dive in. First one is fear. And it doesn't matter where it's coming from. I don't care if it is a course, a system, a person in your life, a video that you've watched, a book that you're reading. Anything that is instilling fear in you is a manipulation tactic, because fear is a way to coerce you and push you and limit your options and make you feel like that is the only safest option for you, the one that they are manipulating you to make. Anything that is making you feel afraid of making or not making a certain decision or a choice, or whether it is to purchase something or to go somewhere or even be with someone or leave someone, know in the moment you are getting manipulated into a certain direction and a certain decision that only that person or that system or that source wants you to make for their own benefit and not yours. You cannot make sound decisions when it is coming from fear and lack and scarcity. And you need to clock it the moment it happens and move on and make your own decisions out of your own intuitive guidance. Now, the next one might be a surprise because I know a lot of people use this as a way to kick them into drive or motivation to make or take action, but it is urgency. Urgency is a manipulation tactic, and it is not a healthy state to take any action from. However, I know that it works for a lot of people because they feel like urgency is the only way that they can really move forward and take action on the things that they want to be doing. But know this, if you are solely relying on urgency to take action for whatever it is that you want, know that you are in a dysregulated nervous system state. Because urgency pushes you into survival. It is coming from a survival state. And I know this might be surprising because, again, urgency is so encouraged in hustle culture and even online on social media. And I have seen so many examples of it. Like, for example, even when content creators that are trying to inspire you into positive change or action, they tend to use urgency in their messaging. I came across a video one time that was saying that, well, the person in the video was saying that the reason why your life is still the same and you still haven't made the changes that you want to make is because you need urgency. I'm like, no, I don't. This is unhealthy. And it is unhealthy, especially for the people that have highly sensitive nervous systems, are already holding a lot of shame, fawn, freeze responses, and have been experiencing a lot of trauma in the past and have a very dysregulated nervous system. If a person like that would listen to that message and say that, yeah, that what they need is urgency, it's gonna be unhealthy for them because it's gonna push them into more of fawn and freeze. Urgency is coming from a survival state. It pressures you into making a certain direction or move because you will feel like if you don't do this, then something bad will happen. That is urgency. You will feel like you have a sense of pressure in your body that if you don't make this move, if you don't go this way, if you don't take action now, then everything in your life is gonna go to shit. That is coming from survival. It's not a healthy state. And while it can push you short term, because it's gonna trigger that adrenaline and cortisol in your body, which is all a stress response, it might push you short term, but is super unsustainable long term. You do not need urgency, you need a regulated nervous system state. And people do not understand that movement occurs naturally when you have a regulated nervous system. You are not meant to push or force movement. Movement will occur naturally through you. It will come to you. You will feel a natural inkling and inspiration and drive to go a certain direction or do a certain thing. That is when you know that the movement is occurring naturally and it is not coming from a survival state. Not anything that you hear online is gonna work for you. Not every tactic, not every video, not every motivational, inspiring content is gonna be for you. You're gonna need to learn how to be really discerning and selective about the messages that you hear online and which one you accept into your mind, because that is on you, and that is a boundary that only you can set. I also want to mention how fear and urgency tend to work hand in hand, and I've also seen so many examples of it online, on social media as well, especially in marketing. And yes, it can be a marketing strategy, and no, that doesn't mean that the person is using it has bad intention. I am not shading the person that does this, but it is super important for you to be aware of. Because the way it shows up in marketing, it's not the type of urgency where people tell you that they have a limited offer for a limited amount of time. That is not the type of urgency I was talking about. And the way it shows up in marketing is when people make you feel like you need to get whatever they are selling you right now. You need to make the decision. You need to make the investment right now. Otherwise, nothing in your life will work out. Nothing in your life will change. You will not move forward. You will stay stuck. And that is not a healthy state to make a decision from. And this might not be so outright and in your face, obvious to you. They low-key make you feel that sense of urgency. And I'm gonna give you an example. One time I came across a video on TikTok where the person was marketing. Of course, they were marketing what they are offering, and again, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. That is not the point here. But it is the way that they were saying it that I noticed a response in my body while I was watching the video. And so the person was saying that because AI is going to take more and more jobs, the time to start building your personal brand is right now. And if you do not do it right now, you're going to miss out. You're going to miss your chance. It will not work out if you do it later. You have to do that right now. Make the decision right now. Invest right now. And when I was watching that video, I noticed that sense of urgency in my body. I felt like literally, if I do not do this right now, if I do not go on and make the investment right now in whatever they were offering, then the thing that I do want and I desire is not going to work if I do it later. That I'm going to miss my opportunity and it's just not going to happen for me. And I caught it right there, and then I was like, no, darling, no. So I really took a pause to acknowledge the feeling and remind myself that there is nothing that I will be missing out. Whether I take that course or not, whether I buy this, make this investment or not, I will not be missing my opportunity because that thing is meant for me and I'm already on that path. So you really need to catch it the moment it happens before you make an impulsive decision. And again, this is nothing bad or negative about this. This is just a marketing tactic. And even if it is marketing, the things that will add value to your life and benefit you, but the state, the energetic state from which you are making a decision in your life is really important. It is super important. And people do not really get the acknowledgement that it needs. And because this is a marketing tactic, and because, like I said, urgency does work for certain people, because certain people really do be slacking off and procrastinating again and again in their life, and they are causing that lack of movement or change in their life, and they might benefit from that tactic. But if you're watching this, I know that you are a highly sensitive person. I know that you are someone that is highly aware, highly self-aware, highly intelligent, and highly sensitive. And this is coming from someone that also experiences that, and I came to learn that this type of urgency is not beneficial for me. You need to cancel it out of your life, especially when it's coming from someone else. And it doesn't matter who that person is. It doesn't matter how a professional, successful, how motivating they are, how good of a person they are. Of course they are, but that doesn't mean that the technique or the method that they are using to make shit happen in their life will work for you. Now, the third one is super covert, super subtle, and it tends to occur in family dynamics. You really need to pay attention to this. And it is when someone tries to make you feel bad about who you are, about yourself, your personality, your actions, your decisions, your growth. When someone tries to make you feel bad for who you are, that is a manipulation tactic. And the reason why that is because it happens indirectly. Because that person makes you draw that conclusion about yourself. They do not tell you outright in your face that you are wrong for this, you're bad for this, they do not like it when you do this. No, they make you feel that way about yourself. And this is where shame plays part, a big part. When family members shame you, instill shame in you, and this is super popular, especially in Eastern cultures, because they use shame and judgment to regulate social behavior. And this is a framework by Ruth Benedict, I think. You can look into that. But this is why shame is super popular in ethnic and Eastern cultures. And when that happens, you will end up making the decision yourself to make the change about yourself to comply to their standards and their mindsets and whatever it is that they want you to be. For example, let's say you have a parent that is a chronic people pleaser, and of course they raised you to be a people pleaser yourself. But after you have healed and grown and became more self-aware, you have grown out of that pattern and you started setting boundaries and you started prioritizing yourself and your needs. And then that parent will come to you, yap in your face, telling you how selfish you've become, telling you how unnurturing you've become, telling you how inconsiderate you are. And that will low-key make you feel bad for being this way. And it will happen unconsciously. And when you feel that way about yourself, you will notice that there will be a tendency for you to evaluate your own actions, to evaluate the way that you are behaving and the way that you are being. And it will push you to make the change that they want you to make about yourself, all by yourself. And you will end up conforming to the old version of you that they benefited from. This is why I need you to wake up. Be more aware, be more perceptive, be more observant. And if you know that you are already living in a family dynamic where this situation tends to happen often, instead of trying to make them stop from doing that, desensitize yourself from their words and their projections. This is the best thing you can do for yourself. If you are in a dysfunctional, toxic family dynamic, you need to learn how to desensitize yourself from their words and their projections, because let me tell you, the projection is real. It's real. And it's gonna happen often. And only you can set that boundary. Only you can set that energetic boundary to not let those projections that have nothing to do with you, it's all about them and their inner world and their inner frameworks and their patterns. It has nothing to do with you. They're only irked because they are seeing that reflection in you right in front of them. Instead of addressing that in themselves, they project. They externalize that processing. Instead of them make that change and grow and change their patterns and their views, they project to externalize that processing into someone else to avoid their own discomfort. And this ain't got nothing to do with you. Like I said, the only thing that you can do here is to desensitize yourself. Because if you feel off when someone calls you selfish, that means you believe that being selfish is wrong. And this is where your work is, not them. This is where you make the change, not them. And this isn't to say that you will not have some type of response or reaction in the moment that that projection happens or you hear those words. Of course you're gonna feel that. You're human. We're all human. The emotion that rises up is not the issue. The pivotal point for you is, what do you decide to do with it? Are you gonna go back to that old version of you just because someone around you is so uncomfortable with your growth? Or are you gonna stay rooted in your own self, in your own beliefs, in your own self-worth and values? Because when you are rooted in your own sense of self, it doesn't matter what anyone throws at your face, you will stay unbothered. It does not matter what anyone tells you, you will stay unbothered. And that is your place of power. And the last way that you get manipulated is gaslighting and love bombing. And unfortunately, this is super popular, especially in romantic relationship dynamics. But it is super important for you to also develop the discernment to catch it when it happens early on, so you do not get trapped in a relationship that you don't want to be in, that you end up losing the most valuable thing that you have, which is yourself. And funnily enough, you will also notice how urgency and fear, everything that I mentioned previously in this video, also play out when you are being love bombed and gaslit. Because love bombing is also carrying a sense of urgency. Why is someone being super urgent to be in a relationship, committed relationship with you, especially if it is marriage? Why are they rushing that? What is there to miss out? Or is it that they have a hidden agenda that they want to fulfill by trapping you in that relationship, one way or another, and make you feel like you are the love of their lives just because they are constantly throwing compliments, gifts, text messages, calls at you in your face early on in the relationship? And you know, when that happens, it will leave no room for you to have that space to reflect and be aware of what is going on. That's why it's a manipulation tactic. Because when that type of energy is being constantly thrown at you in high doses, in high charges, you will not be able to catch it because you're gonna be caught up in it. You will not have that space to be aware and see what is happening. And when you are being gaslit, the person will make you question yourself. The person will make you doubt yourself and even feel afraid of what it is that you've done or didn't do, obviously, or what you said and haven't said based on what they're telling you that you said. And naturally, the reaction that they will trigger in you is you defending yourself, you trying to convince them that this is not what you did, this is not how it went down, this is not what happened, and they will harvest your energy and they will use that to make you question yourself even more and push you into more dysregulation. All that energy is gonna be wasted. Your energy is gonna be harvested by that person. You're gonna waste your energy. You're gonna feel depleted and drained. This is why you need to pay attention. And the thing is, there is no winning. When you are in a relationship dynamic where you're being love bombed, gaslit, betrayed, whatever it is, there is no winning. No matter how long you stay or convince yourself that they can change or improve, you are the one that gonna end up losing at the end, because you're gonna lose a part of you. And the best thing you can do is leave early on. Alright guys, that is all for this video. I hope it helped you. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye! You need to pay attention. Attenzione! Catch these motherfuckers in the act and leave! But anyways, oh my god, it's been a while. I miss you guys. I miss making YouTube videos, and a lot has happened, especially energetically, especially during the last stretch of the snake year, and now it's over, and I feel like this year is gonna be very different and it feels very potent, and I'm really excited for what this year brings, and I'm also excited for you to see more of me and for me to connect more with you guys, and I really do miss you. So without further ado, let's get into it.